going here. Good morning. Welcome back. It is Friday, the 21st of October, and we are looking at a tense review. We've just said that there are 12 tenses in English. What verbs are used to help? And Paula has just said correctly, auxiliary verbs. And one modal verb. What's the modal verb? The future simple.
Will.
Will, correct. Now, don't worry, some of the other modal verbs can help with tense building, but that's very important. How many auxiliary verbs are there in English? Katharina, do you know? I'll focus on you a little, Katharina, because there's been a bit of a break, and I don't know how much you've had time to follow up on with your own private stuff going on. So I'll focus on you, Katharina, not to torture you, but to bring you back more into the flow. How many auxiliary verbs are there in English? Do you know, Katharina? If you don't worry. We'll just focus on you a little bit.
I don't know, teacher.
You don't know, okay. Aula knows. How many auxiliary verbs are there in English? Three, okay. What are they called?
Do, have, be.
Okay, very good. Do, have, be. Okay, very good. Okay, now let's go over to our verbs. They're all up on the platform now, I think. If you check your platform, you'll find that they're all there. Tenses explained. Okay. How many verb forms are there in English?
4.
4. Okay, good. So point number 5 here to remember. She's just decided to sulk now for a moment. Let's give it a chance to get back. Okay. How many verb forms are there in English? 4. Very good. What are they called?
Infinitive.
Infinitive.
Past simple.
You can say that or just past. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
They do sometimes call it past simple, so you're not technically wrong.
Past participle and present present continuous.
No.
It is the ing. I don't know the name.
Present participle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's past participle and present participle. Present participle also called verb ing. And it's easier because sometimes people get confused past participle, present participle, so it can be a little bit confusing sometimes. So present participle. Now, key point. You often have to combine an auxiliary verb with a verb form, with an appropriate, a matching verb form. Okay. Or forms. Might be an auxiliary verb or verbs. Or it might be a modal verb with a matching verb form. So in the past continuous, there are 2 verbs used in the past continuous. What are they? Well, I'll show you so that you know what I mean. We either was or were plus verb ing. Okay. That's what you'll have in the past continuous. Was or were plus verb ing. Okay. So when we're doing past continuous uses two verbs. This causes a problem for you students. Why? Maybe in your language there aren't two verbs. Maybe there are, but maybe they're different verbs. Okay. What's another problem? Another problem is students often get it wrong. I was listening. You was? You was, yeah? That's correct? Okay. You was
No.
speaking. No?
You were?
You were. Aha. Okay. So you were. I was, you were. And then he was or he were?
He was.
He was. She
Was.
was. It
Was.
was. We
Were.
were. Okay. You
Were.
were. And they
Were.
were. So remember, it's I was, you were. He was, she was, it was. So don't forget that. But it's you were, we were, you were, they were. What's a common mistake here? Students often say you was. Students often say you was. That would be monkey there to say you was. Plus verb ing. What other mistake do students make? They sometimes you were speak, you were spoke, you were spoken. So with the past continuous, you need two verbs. What are they? Was and were plus verb ing. Okay. How about the future simple? Does the future simple use one verb or two verbs? Tell me quickly.
Is with will.
It's be. Okay, it's will plus
Infinitive.
infinitive verb. It's will plus infinitive verb. Any change? No, it's I will plus infinitive. Okay. Good news on the auxiliary, on the modal. I will, you will, he will, she will, it will, we will, you will, they will, and then it's infinitive. I will speak. I will listen, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So that's how they build. And students sometimes get this wrong. What's the contraction of these? Contract all of these for me, Paula.
I'll listen. You'll speak.
Mm-hmm.
He'll listen.
Mm-hmm.
She'll listen.
Mm-hmm.
It'll listen. We'll listen. You'll listen. They'll listen.
Good. What happens to the T in it usually?
It's like a D, maybe.
Good.
It'll.
So it'll. Good. It'll listen. So in the future simple, you need two verbs. What about if we went to the present perfect? What happens in the present perfect? Alba, can you tell me what the construction would be? What's the verb partnership in the present perfect?
Have.
Have. Or?
Has.
Has. Okay, plus which verb form?
Third column, yes, present participle.
No,
Past participle, sorry, yes.
that's okay, past participle. So big mistake that's often made here. I have, you have, he have, she have, it have, we have, you have, they have. Okay, easy peasy, right? Right? So everything's
Yeah.
okay there?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that's good,
No.
isn't it?
because you have to put has in
Ah.
he, see, it.
Okay, so I have to change this one to has, okay? She has, it has, okay. So now everything's okay, is it?
Yes.
Really? You sure about that?
No, spoken, sorry.
Okay. So
And
this
listen,
one,
listened.
listen, it has to be past participle. Has to be past participle. Listened. So has to be past participle. Speak, spoke,
Spoken.
spoken. So that's an irregular verb. Okay. What's a common mistake here?
Put he have.
Yeah.
For example.
That's a common mistake. That's a common mistake by students. They often do this. Don't do that. That's totally, totally wrong. Total monkey. Never do that. Okay, so he have spoken. Do people say I has? No, it's not common. They say she have, he have. That's real monkey. Don't make it. Don't make that mistake. If you're in a job review interview and you're making those kind of mistakes, they're very obvious to the native speaker. Okay, and it looks like what's the issue in a job interview? The native speaker thinks if they get that wrong, what else do they not know? Maybe they don't know maths properly. Maybe they don't know business etiquette properly. I'm not sure if we can trust this person to work with the public. That's one of the things that will be said. What about the past perfect? How would we use the past perfect? Who can give me the construction for the past perfect? How about you, Katerina? Could you tell me how to build the past perfect? What verb partnership goes on inside the past perfect?
With ed.
Can't hear you very clearly there. Let me just double check that it's not me. Sometimes I'm complaining to students about their microphones and it's not the student that's the problem. Sometimes it's my settings. Let me just double check if it's my settings that are the problem, because some of you sound like you're far away. And of course, sometimes it takes these a long time to come back up. No, you'll have to speak up a little bit. It's not my settings. So repeat again for me, Katerina.
Had.
Excellent. Plus.
The verb with ed.
No, the past participle. Ed isn't the right way to do it because that could be a simple past. It's the past participle. Which form of the verb? The third form of the verb. Listen, listened, listened. I know that's ed, but look, speak, spoke, spoken. There's no ed there. So good news here for the students. It's all had. Had, all the way through. I had, you had, and great news here. We don't have to worry about it with he, she, it. It's had all the way. Okay. So she had listened. Had plus past participle. Common mistake, well, no. The common mistake might be that you dropped it, but generally speaking, it's okay. How many verbs are needed in the past perfect continuous? Katerina. Any idea, Katerina?
No, teacher.
What's the verb partnership in the past perfect continuous?
Have más ing. No.
Alba says, but
Yeah.
I'm looking for the past perfect continuous.
Yes, have.
Had,
Plus,
da.
yes,
Remember that
have
thing? Good.
plus ing.
No.
Present.
Has been.
Okay, so this past participle becomes only been. Only been. And then what comes next? Verb ing. Okay, now we have only verb ing. Had been. Had doesn't change. That's good news. Boom. Oops, daisy. Sorry. Boom. 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 Shake the room. Okay. Plus what? Well, we'll put in verb ing in here. So I've been listening. And that goes in there like that. Now, when you're talking in English and you're writing in English, 87% of all grammar mistakes are somehow connected to verbs, okay? A lot of students tend to forget what the correct structure is for these, okay? They tend to forget what the correct structure is for these. And it's like putting in the wrong fuel into the wrong tense, okay, into the wrong car. For example, if you use garden equipment, you know, when I'm mowing my lawn or cutting the hedge, I might use mechanical equipment that needs fuel. Some of those tools need two fuels. You have to mix the petrol with a special oil. If you don't do that, it'll break. So that's a common thing. And in some of these tenses, you need three verbs to do it. Who can change this to the present perfect continuous? Who can change this to the present perfect continuous form?
It's instead of had, is have
Now,
and has.
well, I'm sorry to tell you, you'll have to really come super
sorry.
close to that microphone. Imagine you're singing a song on stage.
Okay, so instead of had, you have to put had, have, or has.
So it's either have or
Have, and then has.
okay. So he has, she has, it has, we have, you have, they have. Lovely. Look at that. That's how you do it. Lovely. Well done, Paula. That's excellent. And this is where the mistakes happen. Okay. How do you contract I have, Katerina? Can you hear me, Katerina? I've. Now contract them all for me.
You.
Yeah.
His.
Sounds like cheese. It sounds like cheese.
His.
He's like cheese.
His. She's.
Good.
It's.
Good. And by the way, this will be a Z sound, like in cheese. Not he's, She. Yeah.
his, she's,
Good.
it's,
Good.
he,
Remember, W is wa 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 we.
and we, with,
Weave. It's an elasticated sound. You've got to stretch it out. Weave.
with, you've,
Good.
they've.
Excellent. Excellent. And when you're speaking, you've got to do this. You've got to do this. Yesterday, we saw a video with Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about how when he was learning, when he was still not an advanced speaker in making the Terminator movies, his English wasn't fantastic. And he said that he found it difficult to say, I'll be back. And language students, maybe native speakers don't always understand that, but language students go, yeah, I know what you mean. We've, she's. It sounds like a lot of extra work, but if you are here to improve your English, this is what you need. Okay, so this is what you need. So when you're trying to, first of all, you have to get the accuracy right. The construction has to be right. When you're making coffee, you don't put salt in there. You don't put vinegar in there. You put sugar, maybe milk, possibly, maybe honey. These are good partners for that. And it's the same when you're building the tenses. The number one problem students have with the tenses is, first of all, construction. Their construction is not accurate. So you have to make sure it is accurate. So this one will be either have or has. Have or has, one of those, okay? And then been plus verb ing. Always, always, always. So that's the present perfect continuous. There we have the past perfect continuous, the present perfect. How about we go for the future perfect continuous? Alba, could you give me the formula for the future perfect continuous?
Will.
Will. So we're going for will, says Paula. Okay. That sounds
Will be plus ing.
plus what?
Ing.
Will plus ing.
No. Will be plus ing.
Will plus been, is it?
Yes.
I think so, huh? Okay. So Alba thinks that's going for, that's where we're going for that.
No, will be, only be. No, be.
It just will be.
Yeah.
Okay. Does everybody agree with that? That would be correct, Paula, if it was the future continuous. But we're looking for the future perfect continuous.
Is will have been
Will
and ing.
plus been plus been. Like that? Are you telling me, Paula, that that's the future perfect continuous? 4 verbs?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah? No?
Yeah.
Which?
Yeah.
Now commit. Do you want to phone a friend? Do you want 50-50?
No, I think it's like that.
You're correct. It is like that. And this confuses students. Students go, Jesus Christ, it couldn't be 4 verbs together like that. Boom, 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 4 verbs. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. And students are often surprised by that. So what do we have to do here? Well, we have to bring will down here. Boom. And it'll be. That's nice. So we've got that there. Nice. So look what we do. Good news though. Always Always like that. Always like that. I will have been listening. You will have been listening. We will have been listening. She will have been listening. I will have been. Okay. So, for example, when did you move to, what date did you move to Ireland, Katerina? What date did you arrive in Ireland?
19 August.
19th of August this year.
Yeah.
Okay. So September, October, November. On the 19th of November, it will be your 3-month birthday or anniversary of your arrival in Ireland. Okay. So I will have been living in Ireland for 3 months. Oh, so you've been in Ireland for 3 months? No, I will have been living in Ireland for 3 months on the 19th of November. Okay. I would have been living in Ireland for 3 months on the 19th of November. So the 19th of November hasn't happened yet. And I moved to Ireland 3 months ago? No, 2 months and well, just over 2 months ago. But if you want to give it a birthday, I'll have been living in Ireland for 3 months on the 19th of November. Now, when would Katerina say that? She might say it because she's amazed at how quickly time has passed. She might say to her husband, Jesus, we've been in Ireland for 3 months almost. And he goes, no. And he goes, she's saying, we will have been living in Ireland for 3 months on the 19th of November. No way. Yeah, isn't it amazing? So she might give that example. If Paula is talking to her best friend and her best friend is talking about her relationship with her boyfriend, and Paula's friend, Paula says, you're quite serious with Enrique. And he says, well, why do you think we're quite serious? Well, you will have been living together for 5 years. And Paula remembers that they moved in together on the 26th of October 5 years ago. And Paula remembers that date for some reason. And she says, you will have been living together for 5 years. Right now, no. That cycle will be complete next week. Why is Paula saying that? She's saying you're covering the 5th birthday of your relationship of living together. It hasn't completed yet. It will be complete. The cycle will be complete next week. It'll be 5 years next week. You will have been working here for 50 years next month. So some guy has a job and he's 70 years old. He's still in the job. He hasn't retired. He started the job when he was 20 and he started it in November of his 20th year and says, oh, we have to have a party for Tom. Why do we have to have a party for Tom? Well, he will have been working here for 50 years next month. So next month is the 50th anniversary of Tom joining this company. Isn't that amazing? Okay. So, a terrible situation. Somebody goes missing and their family don't know where he is. And the poor mother is waiting for this person, maybe her husband, maybe her son, to come home. And he went missing on the 26th of October. It's 21st of October today, so 26th of October is next week. So she's waiting for him to come home. And she will have been waiting for him to come home for 10 years. That poor woman has been waiting for 10 years. 10 years? Well, not exactly 10 years. Next week will be 10 years. She will have been waiting for him to come home for 10 years. If you're frustrated with how much grammar we're doing, we will have been covering grammar for 2 weeks on Monday. Why would we say that? Maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you're complimenting each other on how much work you've done. And Monday is the milestone. A milestone is original meaning of a milestone was back in the old days, if you were walking to Madrid on the big road to Madrid, maybe 200, 300 years ago, you needed to know how much further Madrid would be. So the city or the government would put a stone on the road and somebody would chip, 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 tell you how many miles or kilometers were left to go. So nowadays, so you see, that's a milestone, okay? And sometimes they were just written in stone. These are milestones here, okay? And they tell you how far to go. But nowadays, a milestone is like an important moment in each project or your life. So for example, what's a big milestone in a woman's life? Not a man, but a woman's life. What's a big milestone in a woman's life? What do you think? There are lots of them, but can you give me an example? Hello? Is there anybody there? Oh, everybody's in the kitchen making toast, not listening to me.
Can you repeat the question, please?
I don't understand the question, teacher.
Can you give me an example of a milestone in a woman's life? Not a man's life, a woman's life.
When she have a baby?
Yeah, that's one. That's one, absolutely. So a milestone in a woman's life is when she has a baby. A milestone in a woman's life is when her children complete college.
Mhm.
A milestone in a family's life is when they get married. So important moments in your life are called milestones. We use them in business as well. If Paula is planning a wedding or a big corporate event, the first thing she'll have various steps. Step 1, step 2, or phase 1, phase 2. And when she gets to phase 3, she might be halfway through her project. That's a milestone. That's a milestone. So phase
Like
3.
an important like an important success in your life or an important event.
It's usually positive, but it could be negative. Could be negative. Sometimes our parents die or our grandparents die. And that's,
So an important event,
Yeah.
I mean, in the story of your life, maybe.
Yeah. Or career or project.
Okay.
Or project. You know, for example, if you're planning a corporate convention or something like that, first thing you'll be doing is getting prices from hotels, checking out facilities, looking at bus, train, plane connections, And then the next thing you'll be doing is, you know, getting chairs and tables and staff. Then the next thing you'll be doing. So all of these things, you know, are milestones. The future perfect continuous is focusing on milestones that will be complete in the future, an important moment in life, career, project, course. And if you're planning things, this word is very popular. So for Paula, planning events, she's a protocol and events management person. That's going to be a popular word, okay, a milestone. So in order for, like when somebody's hiring Paula, they might not trust her to say, everything's fine. They might want to check in and check various milestones. It's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Why? Sometimes people say everything's okay and everything's not okay. And the people who are paying find out at the end that they didn't have a hotel or they had no bus connections. So managers, supervisors have milestones in projects so they can check if everything's going okay. Will you be finished on time? How is it going? Do you need more help? Okay. All right. So a project, course, like that. So, you know, if you're going to college for 5 years, you're 2.5, that's a milestone, you know. When you leave secondary school and go to college, that's a big milestone in your life. When you finish college, that's a big milestone. So it's a milestone. The present perfect, the future perfect continuous looks at milestones that will occur in the future. Okay. I will now, sometimes it's small things. Usually though, they're big things like a cycle in a life or career being complete. For example, let's take another it. The washing machine. Let's take a technical example. The washing machine will have been spinning. So for example, your washing machine usually spins for a short time. But you notice that it's been spinning for a long time. And then you start measuring it and you checked it at 3 o'clock. And now it's 4:45. And you say to the technician, the washing machine will have been spinning. So you checked it at 3 o'clock and it was spinning. And now it's 4:45. So you say it will have been spinning for 2 hours at 5 o'clock. At 5 p.m. will be this milestone. Now, it's an example, it's just an example. These other examples about your anniversary, living together, they're more common, but it's possible that somebody might do it like that. That's not very popular, but it's possible. So there's the future perfect continuous. What's the first challenge you have? Understanding there are 4 verbs. That's a big surprise, but now you know it's 4 verbs. And the good news, the first 3 verbs never change. Look, he will have been, we will have been, she will have been, you will have been, they will have been. And you notice the way I just spoke? Well, guess what happens? Guess what happens? We take them and we compress them. Look at this, look at this. Oh, look at this. cutting, compressing, contracting, connecting. 6 C's of fluency. How could you say that?
They will have been listening.
Good. And don't forget Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. They will have been listening.
Listening. To
Listening.
you, to your body and mouth, it will look like this.
Okay. So they will have been listening.
Very good. Now, the reason I'm laughing is you sound very native speaker there. Okay. All right. So they will have been listening. Okay. Now, we also use the future perfect when you are estimating, when you're imagining a hypothetical thing. They will have been listening. Okay. So, for example, you're saying the Russians, the Ukrainians have a big plan to win the war. And you go, yeah, the Russians will have been listening to their conversations. They will have been listening. You're imagining that this is possible. This is probably what they will have been doing. But when you're listening to people and they're speaking to you, you're going to hear will have been listening, will have been speaking, will have been. If you want to improve your fluency, you should be doing that too. I know it'll take time, but you'll notice the people around you are saying that. And sometimes this will have been, what the hell does will have been mean? Will have been listening. Will have been listening. Will have been listening. Will have been listening. Will have been living. Will have been living here. Okay. And watch what happens when we compress it even further. Oh, look at that. How would you say that, Katerina?
They will have been listening.
Good. Now get your mouth around it. Get in there and bite it again and taste it and do it again.
They'll have been listening.
Again now.
They'll have been listening.
And see every time how much better that's getting. Katerina sounding more and more fluent. Do it again.
They'll have been listening.
Good. Full sentence.
They'll have been listening to our plans.
They'll have been listening to our plans. That's right. They'll have been listening to our plans. Good. Again.
They'll have been listening to our plans.
Good. Live.
They'll have been living
Good.
in.
Good. Work.
They'll have been working.
Good. Again now.
They'll have been working.
Faster, faster, faster.
They'll have been working in.
There you go. There you go. And that's real life English now. That's how people are going to speak around you. That's how people are going to actually speak the tense. Nobody in Vancouver or Washington or New York, Birmingham, Glasgow or London, Dublin, Galway or Sligo, Adelaide, Perth or Canberra, nobody will say they will have been listening. No, they won't. And that's a challenge for the student. The student is expecting bump, 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 bump. But that won't happen. In real life, it's the 6 C's of fluency. English language is a smoothie. It's not pieces of fruit. It becomes liquid and it flows. Okay, so they'll have been listening to our plans. So when you're kind of making an estimate or an assumption about the what will happen at a future moment, you'll say they'll have been, okay. So for example, on Saturday, my wife wants to go for dinner. Okay. And she said she wanted to go at 6:30. My wife wanted to go, said tomorrow evening, she wants to go for dinner to a restaurant. I said, okay. And she wants our two sons to come with us. I said, okay. And she says, I think we should book the table for 6:30. And I said, I don't think that's a good idea. And she said, why? And I said, because our oldest son is working on Saturday. And he's working until 4:30. And then he has to drive home for nearly 40 minutes. We want to get a shower and changed. So I think we should book for 8:30, 2 hours later. Now, my son's name is Kuba. Who can give me the sentence and its work? And the verb is work and the complement is all day.
Can you say that again?
Okay. So my wife wants to go to dinner tomorrow evening. She said, book the table for 6 p.m. for you and me and the two kids. I said, okay. Our oldest son has a job and he works, but he works in Castlebar, so it's a long distance. And I said, he's working till 4:30. It will take him a long time to come home. And working all day, driving home, no chance to relax? No. So I used the future perfect continuous about this situation. And my son's name is Kuba.
Oh, okay.
And the verb I want you to use is work. And the complement is all day. So he'll be, what was the phrase for very, very tired we saw recently?
Wrecked, absolutely wrecked.
Oh, wrecked, are you joking?
Wrecked, absolutely wrecked.
And it's webo.
Wrecked.
Correct. Well done. Any of those W's, Paula, you keep your eye on them because you have very clean pronunciation except for W's.
Yeah, my host family said me the same.
Good. And it's good that they're doing that.
Yeah.
Because that's how you'll fix this. The host families are usually useless at helping you correct. They're brilliant for other things. They're brilliant for practicing words or playing games. Normally they hate correcting students. Sorry, my lighting here is very...
Oh, well, I ask them for that.
Good. Well, I know everybody asks them, but usually they don't. They do it for a few minutes and then they stop, you know. But that's great that they're doing that. That's fantastic. So how do you fix it? Webo.
Okay.
In fact, Paula, the W is silent in this word.
Oh, so absolutely wrecked.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. But other words like Walter or I don't know, other words begin with W. Webo. Just say webo, and then practice the word. Like, you remember, I want to marry you from Bruno Mars. Yeah, yellow. Yeah, young. Yeah. Yesterday. Well, in this case, it's much easier because it's Pepsi, so the actual pronunciation is like that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. W is silent on this one, so it's even easier. So Kuba work all day.
So Kuba will have been working all day, so he'll be absolutely wrecked.
What did you say?
Yeah, that one. Oh, they're absolutely wrecked.
Perfect. He'll be absolutely wrecked. Katerina, absolutely wrecked means?
Very tired.
Yeah, very tired. And Katerina, it's a very popular phrase. Everybody says this. Oh no, I'm absolutely correct. Okay, everyone loves that phrase. So if you say that at work and people are saying, wow, your English is getting very natural, they'll notice that. So Kuba will have been working, so take out working all day, so he'll be absolutely wrecked. What do I say here? Well, why am I saying that? I'm visualizing the future. In this case, I'm visualizing the future. And I'm saying Kuba's day will be coming to an end. The cycle will be coming to an end. And I'm saying he'll be very tired. So maybe he doesn't want to go so early for dinner. Maybe he'll like to maybe come home, have a nap. What's a nap?
A siesta.
Yes, exactly, a siesta. A nap is a short sleep. And what's the verb? Have a nap, not do a nap, not make a nap, have a short sleep, okay? Also, you'll notice there's a word that often appears on your alarm. You know, if you turn on your alarm and you have an option on your phone or your clock that says, give me another 5 minutes. Does anybody recognize that word? You'll often see it on your phone. Special function.
Is snap? No.
You're close.
Yeah. It's
A what?
snooze. It's snooze. It's snooze.
Yeah, a snooze. And that's another short sleep. So I'll have a snooze, I'll have a nap. They're a short sleep. Okay. What does hit snooze mean? Means I gave myself an extra, 15 minutes, 10 minutes after my alarm clock went off. Went off, ring, ring, rang, rung, went off. Beep, 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 the alarm went off. So when you say I hit snooze, and I like yesterday morning, I was really tired, so I hit snooze 3 times. Okay, I hit snooze. Okie doke. Why it's so dark in here today? It's really, really dark. It's driving me bananas. Okay.
It's raining a lot today.
Oh God, it's just awful weather. Awful. Yeah. Now it's normal. Like this is, when I say it's awful weather, you know what the Latin name for England is?
No.
The Latin, the word the Romans gave to England, the Latin name for England is what? Anglia. Okay. Do you know why? Does it remind you of any other word? And I'll give you a hint. Think of God and heaven.
Or angel?
Yes, because when the Roman map makers returned to Rome with a map of the empire, the Roman Empire, they were asked why they gave certain names to certain people, places, countries. And you know why they said Anglia for England? They called England Anglia because the people they met had blonde hair and looked like angels. That's how Anglia gets its name. Do you know what the Latin name for Ireland is?
Something with red, maybe?
Something with what?
With red?
No. Why do you think we all have red faces, yeah?
Oh, no, red hair.
Red hair, okay.
No, well,
Oh.
faces too.
It was something else you'll notice in Ireland, something that's still a problem in Ireland. The Latin name for Ireland is Hibernia. Do you recognize any other name?
It's like winter, yeah.
Means wintry.
It is that words they use in Game of Thrones, I think.
Oh, winter, yes. Well, they say winter.
In the Invernalia, it's called like some. Well, I don't know because I don't see the series at all, but it sounds me of that.
Sure.
And it's recorded in Ireland, right? I mean.
Oh, a lot of it, yeah. A lot of it is recorded not far from Sligo, actually, just across the border. A lot of our mountains are they use the other side in Northern Ireland, those hills that you see. They're very similar to Sligo, very similar. So the Latin name for Ireland, which means wintry. Why? When the Romans got off the boat, it was cold and rainy. And that's why they never stayed. That's why we have no Roman influence in Ireland. Do you know why? Because the Romans hated the fucking weather. They wouldn't stay. And so this weather you see, if anybody tells you this is climate change, let me tell you, that is such bullshit. This has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. We have always, if it ever gets suddenly warm, that's when you can worry. If it's warm and nice weather in October. Actually, October, it can be quite a nice month sometimes, but it's hit and miss. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't be. But October can be a lovely month, you know, but when it's like this, no. But there's nothing new about this, is what I mean, because our name in Latin means Hibernia. And the reason that we didn't have Roman forts in Ireland, and we have no Roman history here, fucking hated the weather. The weather was cold and windy and miserable even then. The Italians were here complaining about the weather. So, and not staying. So nothing new there. Getting back to tenses now. Future perfect continuous will have been plus verb ing. When you're speaking, it will get seriously compressed. Will have been listening, will have been working. So what did I say about Cuba? How will you compress that sentence about Cuba?
Cuba Lavin, walking.
So come close to the microphone, Paula.
Cuba Lavin, working.
Exactly. Cuba Lavin, and will you say working?
Working.
Say it like that.
Working.
There you go. So if you want to get the pronunciation exactly right, say it like this. Okay. We'll write it like this. The contraction will be written like that. But in reality, if a Spanish person wants to say this correctly, say it like that, Spanish speaker. So if Caterini wants to say it as a Portuguese speaker, she'll say Cuba Lavin working. There's two possibilities, Cuba Lavin or Cuba Willabin or have can be like that. How about this one? Now that's how you'd write it. This is how you'd say it. You'll say it like this. Try that.
We've been. Cuba, we've been.
Try this.
Cuba will have been.
Will have been, will have been, will have been, will have been.
Will have been.
Okay. Yeah. So you could hear one person saying Cuba will have been working. You could hear another person saying Cuba will have been working. You could hear another person saying Cuba will have been working. So it varies among people, but there are three possible compressions to that structure. Okay, and you should start compressing your language. If you find that too complex, just do simple compressions, like I'll have been, but it's not difficult. So you say, oh, well, I don't know these. Pick one you like. I like this one, will have been. I think that's easy. Fine. But don't be surprised if somebody says will have been, or will have been, or will have been, or will have been. Okay? Don't be surprised and get used to it. And now your listening is going to improve as well as your speaking. Okay? So Cuba will have been working. Good. All right. Any questions about that so far now? Any issues there? Are you listening to me?
Yeah, I have no questions.
Okay. You've got to say that. You've got to remember, you can see me, but your cameras aren't on. So for you, it's TV. For me, it's radio. So if you don't speak, I don't know. Okay. All right. So answer me. All right. Because I think maybe you've gone into the kitchen and you're having coffee. All right. So present perfect continuous, has been, have been, verb ing. Okay. Why would we use the present perfect continuous? Who remembers that from yesterday? Why do we use it? Here we can see the construction, but why would we use it?
For emphasize.
For what?
Emphasize.
Emphasis.
Emphasis.
Emphasis, yes. I have been waiting for you for 2 bloody hours. So when you're annoyed with somebody, if Katerina cooks dinner and her husband's been delayed at work and his phone ran out of power, and when he comes home, dinner is cold and she's annoyed, and she says, what do you say, Katerina? Katerina, are you there?
I have been waiting for you for 2 bloody hours.
Bloody hours. Bloody is a swear word. It's mild nowadays. It's mild. It's a religious swear word. It means the blood of Jesus on the cross. That's where it actually comes from. But nowadays, most people don't know that, and they just say too bloody. So if you said, well, I know fucking, yeah, don't, be careful about that. Of course, you can use that word. It's extremely popular. And between friends, it's often a fun word to use. Mightn't be a safe word to use at work, for example. Some people might be annoyed or angry. Bloody, it's strong, but it's not vulgar, okay? So it shows that like, this is annoying, but you're not using bad, super bad language. It's kind of mild. Could you use it with children? No, I wouldn't let my 8-year-old son use that. I wouldn't let him use it. But could I use it with my wife and my older son? Yeah, yeah. How would you compress this, Katerina?
I've been waiting.
Good. Give me the full sentence.
I've been waiting for you for 2 bloody hours.
Good, good, good. When somebody talks too much about something, we use the phrasal verb go on about. Go on about. That means talking about a situation or a person, and you're not a fan of this. You don't like it. You don't like it. So you could say, give me 1 second. Okay. So let's imagine your boyfriend loves football, and he says he's talking about a match between Real Madrid and Barcelona, and his favorite team lost, and he's blaming the referee, and he's saying the referee wasn't fair, and now Ronaldo and Messi and blah 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 blah, and eventually you go, oh, for God's sake, stop. What would you say? What would you say there?
I have been listening to you for.
Well, look at this one here. I've given you the sentence already. When somebody talks too much about something, we say go on about. Look at the example there. It's already waiting for you. And remember that your boyfriend is talking about a match, and you're sick and tired of hearing about this match. And how long has he been talking? For ages. Paula, give me the sentence.
So you have been going on about football for ages?
Or the match.
Or the match? Okay.
For ages. To go on about means talk too much about. Just one moment. I need to check something here. I'll be with you in a second. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. It was just disturbance here. So go on about means talk too much about something so that it annoys another person. So for example, the children you look after, they might talk about Peppa Pig, na 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 na, and you go, fucking hell, she's been going on about Peppa Pig for ages. Or what's the big event coming up in children's lives? This week, next week? Big seasonal celebration. What is it?
Can you say that again?
What big event is coming up that excites children in the next
Halloween.
10 days?
Halloween.
Halloween. And your kids are going to be talking about what costume they'll wear to school. Will they go trick or treating? What will you say? Alba?
He has been going on about Halloween for a week.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I like yours. It's been going on about Halloween for a week. And by the way, how would you emphasize this one? Is there anything we can do with this phrasal verb to emphasize it?
That he's talking all the time.
No,
Oh.
it's this one. It's this one, but you add something to it.
What?
Guess what? So you can add an extra and on, and you can add another one to show your frustration. Give it to me, Paula.
She has been going on and on about.
Give me two on and ons. She's been going on and on and on.
Oh, going on and on and on.
Yeah.
About Halloween for a week.
Correct. Now give me a full sentence and do it naturally and sing it. Don't speak it.
Okay. He has been going on and on and on about Halloween for a week.
Good. And when we sing it like this, we say, she's been going on and on and on. Na, 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 na. So you have to say it like that. Again.
He has been going and on and on and on about Halloween for a week.
Excellent. The way you did that now was just perfect. Perfect. Are there any people in your life who talk too much about a certain topic? How about you, Katerina? Is there anybody in your life? Does your husband talk too much about football? Does he talk too much about his job? Does he talk too much about money? Let's hear all the secrets. Katerina, how about you?
He has been going on and on about football.
Great. There you go. And that might, and maybe it may not annoy people. It may not annoy people. It could be impress people. So, for example, if your son starts learning to play the piano and he loves it, he absolutely loves it, you'd say, oh my God, he goes on and on and on about piano lessons. And the piano teacher would be, really? Oh, wow. Then that's a happy thing. So it's not always negative. It means that you've noticed that they talk a lot about this. Maybe sometimes it annoys you. Maybe sometimes it impresses you. If you're a mom and you pay for piano lessons, maybe little boys normally don't like piano lessons, but it impresses you that he loves it. So you say to the teacher, piano teacher says, does he like the classes? You go, oh my God, he just goes on and on and on about you all the time. And that's a compliment. But it's a lovely verb. Students never say it because teachers never teach it. But I'm an amazing teacher, so you're lucky. Okay? So go on and on and on about something. You can use it when you're frustrated, and then the present perfect can be used for emphasis, or it can be used for explanation. I won't shake hands. I won't shake hands. Why not? I has. Maybe I'll go to I up here. I'll take another I out of it. Okay. Now say I won't shake hands. Why? Why would I not shake hands? Alba. I'm using this for an explanation. Here, this is for emphasis, but we also use it for explanation.
I won't shake hands. I have been, I don't know.
Why would you not shake hands? You like me, Alba. I'm nice. When I go, hey, Alba, how's it going? You go, oh, JJ, I won't shake hands. I go, oh, why? And you say, I've been. Is there fish for dinner?
Fishing.
Okay, maybe. Or you could say, I've been cleaning fish or preparing fish for dinner. Maybe that's one reason. Oh, Alba, your clothes are covered in oil or flour. What have you been doing? Alba, what have you been doing? Do you know what flour is, Alba?
Yeah.
Why are your clothes covered in flour?
I have been, I don't know, doing the dinner.
Well, in flour, doing the dinner. And we don't do dinner, we make dinner.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Oh, yeah.
so if your host family come home and there's flour on your clothes, you know, what's going on? You go, I've been making pizza,
Okay.
for example. Okay.
Mhm.
Why are the kids so tired this evening? Maybe it was good weather. Play outside. What's your answer, Paula? Sorry, Alba.
They have been playing outside.
Very good. They have been playing outside. Now, what's the difference between they have been playing outside and they were playing outside?
I don't know.
What's the difference between they have been playing outside and they were playing outside? Because this, which tense is this, Paula?
The difference. Are you asking for the difference?
What's the name of the tense first?
Oh, the present perfect continuous.
Continuous.
Also, the first, the R is like for emphasis.
Maybe, or explanation. The two key words here are emphasis and explanation. But,
And the other is
Paula,
like a fat.
but very important for a present situation. Okay. And this one, what's this tense called? Katerina, do you know the name of this tense? Are you there, Katerina? No, Katerina. Okay. Paula, we'll go back to you. What's the name of this tense?
Is the past continuous?
Past continuous. Now, what's the difference between these two sentences? Because present continuous is used, present perfect continuous is used for emphasis and explanation. It's used for emphasis and explanation. Past continuous can also be used for explanation. But they're not exactly the same. Can you see the difference between those two sentences and what they mean? And I'll give you a hint. In which sentence was the playing more recent?
Have been.
Yes, Katerina?
They have been.
Yes. This one. In this one, it was further in the past. How much further? I don't know. That's in your head. So they have been playing outside. That means more recent. So what we're saying here is sometimes if you were giving an explanation for a current situation right now, sometimes the present continuous is okay, and you could really use the past continuous as well. So they're exactly the same? No, they're not exactly the same, but they're quite close. So what's the difference? The present perfect continuous action was more recent. So if mom comes home from work at 7 p.m. and the kids are like, all tired and lying on the couch, and she goes, wow, they're really tired this evening. Why are they so tired? And the au pair, Alba or Paula, might say, well, they've been playing outside. Maybe the children came in 15 minutes ago. If the children were playing earlier in the afternoon, around 5 p.m., maybe Paula would say they were playing outside.
Okay.
So they're very close. And my point to you is sometimes when you open your mouth and your brain decides to use a tense, in certain situations, you could use go to the present perfect continuous, or maybe you could use the past continuous, and the difference might not be that important to you. Okay. For example, why was the kitchen so messy yesterday? Watch this. Is the answer, I've been making pizza with the kids? Or is the answer, I was making pizza with the kids? Which is the best answer in this situation?
The second one.
The second one. Yes. Why?
Because it was yesterday, not really, not recently.
Why is the kitchen so messy? What's the correct one?
The first one.
Yes. Why?
That is recently.
Yes, because the situation is right now. Okay. How about this one? Is it wrong?
No.
No, it's not wrong. This one's probably best, but this one is okay too. Why? Why is this one okay too? Because up here, I've been making pizza with the kids. Is this okay too?
No, it's not.
Well done. Why?
Because it's not a recent action.
Well, that's right. And yesterday has finished. Because yesterday has finished. What's the difference between these two? When were you making pizza with the kids? If it's 7 p.m. at the moment of this conversation, which sentence suggests you were making pizza at 6:48 p.m. 6:49 p.m. And which sentence suggests you were making pizza at 2:30 p.m. So this question is asked at 7 p.m. Which one would you use if you were making pizza at 6:49 p.m.? And which one would you use if you were making pizza at 2:30 p.m.? If you answer this question, I'll give you a coffee break.
If it's 7 p.m.
Alba's awake now. Okay, Alba, go ahead. So this question is asked by mom. Mom
Yeah.
comes home and mom says, why is the kitchen so messy? Okay?
Yeah.
And she asks this question at 7 p.m. when she arrives home from work.
Mm-hmm.
Which of these, now both of these sentences are okay.
Yeah.
And I won't say best. I'll say okay too. Which sentence is best if you were making the pizza at 6:49, Alba?
At the first one.
Okay. Oh gosh, I'm gonna say okay. So this one suggests you are making pizza at 6:49. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This one suggests you are making pizza at 2:30 p.m. Because this is maybe further in the past. This one is closer in the past. Sometimes do you care? Maybe not. Maybe you say, listen, that's not relevant. It's the mess maybe that I should be focused on. Maybe the mom is going, what the? Okay, maybe she's annoyed with you. But that's the present perfect continuous. And when you look at tenses, very often you'll notice that tenses. Now, Katerina, if you need to catch up with us, we can go over this again, but you were here for one of these this week, weren't you, Katerina? Were you here on Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the 12 tenses. And the first challenge for you as students is getting the verb structures correct and accurate, okay? And this is where the first mistakes often happen. Why? Well, the verb structures are like, the tenses are like a car, and the verb structures are like the fuel that goes into the car. And students often get the fuel wrong, okay? They put petrol into a diesel car, they put electric into a gas car, and that's where your first problem begins. Then after you get the tense, the verb structure and partnership right, what's your next problem? Well, you might be using the present simple when you should be using the present continuous. So you'll pay attention to the usage. All of this is on the platform now, and you can look at it yourself. When you're looking at it and you think, I don't understand that, write down that question. Say, I don't understand the difference between this one and this one, or between this one and this one. And sometimes, like I did today, I'll tell you that the past continuous and the present perfect continuous can sometimes be used in the same situation. You can take a taxi into town, or you can drive your car into town, or you can take a bicycle into town. You can take a bus into town. They'll still get you into town. Are they the same? No, there's a big difference between a bus and a car, but it's doing the same job. Always? Well, no, not always. Will you take a bus to go to Spain? No, you won't. Probably not. So sometimes two tenses might cross over and you can use them for the same situation. Now, if you're ever confused when you're looking at these on your free time, you should write down that confusion. Say, I'm confused about this, and I'll explain it to you. The thing with the tenses, should you understand everything the first time I say it? No, no, I'm only introducing this to you. Well, how long will this take? Some students take longer than others. But you should always ask, you should always say, I'm confused about this tense and this tense. I'm confused about these tenses. Well, the usage is written here on the side of each tense. Why do people say this? For example, which tense do we use? Which tense are you going to hear when the news is turned, when you turn on the news at 6 o'clock in the evening? Which of these tenses will you hear?
Present perfect.
Present perfect. Present perfect. To give news. To give news. So if Katerina has a new job, Katerina might say, hey guys. What would you say, Katerina? The verb is get and the object is new job. And you're the subject. Katerina, are you there? Over, Katerina.
I
Yeah.
I have get. I have
Four forms of get. Irregular.
get.
No, it's irregular.
Oh,
Forget, forgot, forgotten. Get.
got.
Got will be fine. Get, got. Also get, gotten. There's a UK and a US difference. Some people say got, some people say gotten. What do we say in Ireland? whichever one we feel like. Okay. So what's the news? Tell us your news, Katerina.
I have got
I've got a job. Oh, congratulations. Well done. How do we know that it's news? Because we heard the present perfect. So we understood this is news. Which tense would we use if we're talking about a doctor's appointment next week? Anybody?
past perfect.
I can't hear you. You'll have to speak very close to the microphone.
Past perfect.
No, not the present perfect.
Past.
What's the past? You have to give me the correct name.
Past perfect.
Past perfect? No, not the past perfect. Not the past perfect. A doctor's appointment next week. What tense would you use?
Future simple.
Future simple. Give me the sentence.
I will go to the doctor.
Oh, no. No. Because this appointment, it's an appointment. So that means you rang that doctor's office and that doctor's secretary said, okay, so how about Wednesday next 3:15? And you said, that's fine.
Present continuous.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, present simple.
The present simple, because look, it's a future scheduled event.
Okay.
It's a future scheduled event. It means that you and the doctor's secretary looked at your diary. Now, what's the power? Why do normal people, like most normal people, don't know how many tenses there are in English? I would be very surprised if Alba or Katerina or Paula spoke to an Irish person they know, and when you say how many tenses are there in English, you'll get lots of different answers. Most people would say 3, past, present, future. So most people don't know this. However, your Irish friends who have no idea about the grammar use this grammar every day correctly. Why? Through osmosis, growing up as children, monkey see, monkey do, they do it like that. Same as me. I didn't know any of this until I became a teacher, and after my training course, I knew a little bit, then other teachers taught me more, and sometimes students taught me stuff that I didn't know. So the present simple is used for future scheduled events. What does this mean? It means that somebody, you discussed this with somebody, you both agreed the time, and now it's scheduled. You went into the train station, you told the lady what time you want the bus for. She said, if you give me the money, I'll give you the ticket. Everything is agreed now. Okay? If you have an English test, say an English class on Tuesday in the IT, JJ says we have face-to-face on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30. You say to your husband, boyfriend, mother or father, I can't stay with you today. I have a class. Now, when your family member or friend hears the present simple, they know you're not supposed to change. Okay? Okay. It's
Yes.
not, you can't change it. So if my wife says, I have a training session this evening, so I'll be home late, I shouldn't really say, change it, because she's probably arranged that with other people. So my wife is sending me a signal in the present simple. She's saying, look, this is important. It's been arranged with other people. I can't change it. I go, okay, no problem. And that's the signal that's sent about the future scheduled event. I'll ask you one more question. I'm a liar. I promised you we'd give you a coffee break. One more question. Which tense would you use on Friday when people say, any plans for the weekend?
Present continuous.
Present continuous, future plans. Why don't we use this one? If you plan to go to the cinema, maybe you've booked the tickets. Why don't I use the present simple? Or if you meet your boyfriend, or you go for dinner with your husband, or why aren't you using the present simple? You're correct, of course, but why? Why about your plans for the weekend do we use this one? And the doctor's appointment, we use this one.
Is more friendly or informal?
Well, informal or personal, yeah.
Or personal, yeah.
And it's usually this one for entertainment or disruption to your life. I can't meet you tomorrow. Why not? I'm working tomorrow. It's disrupting your personal life. But you say, but that's work. I know, but it's taking you away from your family. So you'd use this one, okay? What mistake do people use here? People drop this one. They say, they don't say you am. I don't hear people saying that. I are, no, people don't say that. But sometimes people say I walking, you smoking. Some people say that. So if it's a personal future plan, use this guy. If it's a formal future plan, planes, trains, buses, doctors, dentists, driving test, English class. And if it's other people are waiting for you, or it will happen with or without you, present simple. Okay. All right. Time for coffee. All right. Give yourself about 15 minutes there. Keep your speakers on and you'll hear me then when I come back. I'll pause recording for the moment.